Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and this week for Idle Heroes we have one of the biggest, most destructive events we've seen for people whose wallets contain a lot of money. DH Games are doing a social experiment over the next few days to see just how much money they can make people spend. And honestly, I'm impressed, because it's gone so far that it's not just sheer greed, it is genuine insanity. Because if I was in DH Games' shoes, I would totally produce an event like this for one simple reason, just to see how messed up it is when you put a bunch of people with a lot of money in a room together and ask them, hey, who can possibly spend the most? That's what this week's event is. It's wild. Before we take a look at that though, let me tell you about Patreon. It's a way you can support the content I make here and get account reviews for yourself or other bonuses in return. A shout out to Dalen Blake, who decided to back me this week, so thank you very much. And if you want to be like him, you can find a link up there in the top corner of the screen. Anyway folks, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes, because it is wild. The usual stuff this week is going to be dice and cake. Blueberry cheesecake is this week's campaign loot drop currency, so collect all of that from campaign, and that's going to get you rewards at the end of the week if you go and cash them in the store that we'll take a look at in a little bit. Also, make sure you get your 4 dice every day, because that'll help you in Imp's Adventure to make progress, and progress means prizes. If we take a look here, you'll see there's value packages, and these are a bit weird. I do recall it used to be 70 dice that you got on the top, so now we're getting 65, which is just questionable because that's the $100 package. But if you look at the $10 package, that's getting you 7 dice, which is just way better. Then there's 20, and then there's this terrible, and the 50 bucks one's even worse. It's 32 for 50, which is worse than 65 for 100. The value is all over the place, and I seriously recommend you do not buy these packages, because it just doesn't make any sense as to why DH Games can justify having these all over the place when in the past we've seen them be nice, neat, and tidy. Like, we've seen 70, 35, we've seen that before, but what the heck is this? It makes no sense. Also, they're available for Starry Gems, but you probably don't want to use your Starry Gems for these, because boy oh boy, have we got something spicy. Now, on the topic of spending money, there's also a luck relay, which is actually pretty wild. This is just over 50 bucks for everything you see here, but take a look at what you get. You get gems and dice, followed by more dice, and then, ooh, contract Starry Gems. Very, very nice. On top of that, you can get yourself more gems and dice, and then you can get yourself even more gems, and actually a further 400 contract Starry Gems. Then you get even more gems and 10 Cores of Transcendence plus 9 dice, and then you get this for 1500, which is even more gems. And then you get even more gems and more dice, followed by more gems and more Starry Gems, so that's another 400 Starry Gems you grab. And then you get double bonuses from Imp's Adventure along with 500 Starry Gems. So you're getting 1200 contract Starry Gems and 500 Starry Gems, although for 50 bucks, that's actually solid value, especially when you consider that we have ourselves a Soul Awakening Gala this week. And the Soul Awakening Gala is a way for you to get yourselves Transcendence Heroes, hero copies, and of course, a mysterious artifact chest or a flag with relics. On top of that, there's an opportunity to get yourself Spiritual Essence or an Essence Sublimation chest, depending on which one is better for you and upgrading your Transcendence heroes. Further to this, every 20 points in this progress bar that you get will get you further Transcendence hero copies, and you get points by awakening heroes. Heroes of different tiers will get you different amounts of points, all the way up to 20 for an SSS, and all the way down to 3 for an E-. You can expect generally to get around 5 or 6 for a hero, as E+ and D- are generally the most common. And folks, the reason this event is wild is because of this. There's something called the Soul Awakening Session, where Android and iOS users have been put in a little box together to compete on a leaderboard to see who can do the most awakenings. The points that you get in the Soul Awakening Gala are added to a leaderboard, and the person who does the most gets some insane rewards. Now, what's wild is when we get to the Wonder of Brilliance, I say when, not if, because definitely, look, we're on 7,000 already. To get to the Wonder of Brilliance, we need to get to 10,000 points. That is totally going to happen amongst the top 10 idlers that do this. Either way, the person who does the most awakens and gets the best amount of heroes from those awakens is going to get this, an Awakening Resonance Crystal, which will grant them an SS rank on a hero of their choice. This is nuts. Talk about one of the most powerful items DH Games have ever released. It is no surprise that whales are absolutely clawing over one another to see who can spend the most. The limit for whales is probably not going to be how much they can spend, but how many 5-star copies they have that can be awakened. We are going to see the market flooded with so much crap, it's going to be unreal. And I don't even think the Soul Awakened Gala chests are going to be enough to top up the amount of heroes that people are going to need. I already did some Awakens with Sol, which will be coming out onto the channel here on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe for that. But those Awakens, we literally ran out of 5-star Transcendence heroes to open before we ran out of Starry Gems. So this is going to be absolute carnage. It also means, I imagine, a lot of whales are going to make some really poor decisions with profit orbs to try and get themselves some heroes worth awakening. I imagine it's finally time for people to use the insane number of branches they've saved up to try and swap for people like Freya or Vesa to go ahead and awaken those. We're going to see just wild heroes getting awakened just so that people can get their hands on that SS shard. And the worst part about this is it just goes on. Even after this event has finished, the timer is 237 hours. That's 237 hours of pure carnage, because literally, these people are just going to spend and spend and spend and spend and spend and spend to compete for this, because it's the first time anything of this insane amount of value has been dropped in the event. And I don't use the word value as like this is actually worth money. I mean, this is just like a throwaway term because it seems valuable to just be given an SS. Also, they can sell this for more Starry Gems if they wanted, so potentially SSing a hero is not a bad idea. But the thing that drives me wild about this is that I know that a lot of these whales are millionaires. A lot of them have more money than sense. And normally, the one thing that stops them from spending loads in Idle Heroes is literally the amount of rewards they're getting for their money. This event is basically making their bank accounts compete against each other to see who physically can spend the most. It's an insane social experiment, and it's going to make DH Games an awful lot of money, and it makes me sick to the core that this is actually happening. Because in any other circumstance, this sheer volume of awakening is completely unnecessary and unreasonable. But it literally just takes a carrot on a stick, and suddenly these, I don't want to say idiots, but I'm very close to, and I've just said it now, so we might as well stick with it. These wonderful individuals are spending so much money just to go ahead and be the person to claim that prize. And it gets better. The person who's second or third will get an S-ranked hero. The people who come 4th, 5th, or 6th will get an A+ hero. 7 through 10 get an A, and if you're the unlucky folks that get to 11th or below, that's A-. Wow, that's not even unlucky. It's 21 and below with their B+ who are going to feel really, really screwed over, because the top 20 people getting themselves A- or better is just beautiful. And I just cannot believe that this is going to happen. And you can see here, 100+. Anybody who reaches 200 points on the Soul Awakening Gala, anybody who does that is guaranteed, because we are getting to Wonder of Brilliance, it will happen. You are guaranteed a B- Resonance Crystal. So, a recommendation to the average spender is, you know what? If you can, if you've got the contract storage gems lying around, if you want to spend a bit of cash, if you're going to go through anyway and get yourself some progress through the luck relay, you might as well try and see if you can get to 200 on the Soul Awakening Gala, because you're guaranteed a B- hero. So you might as well give it a try. It could be a terrible B-, but heck, you could get yourself a really nice B- Sword Flash to help you out. Or it could be a B- Vesa. Or it could even be a Freya. Look at my account. I can tell you for sure, B- are fine. I'm rocking a great account with 3 of them. You don't need your A tiers. Sure, A tiers are nice, and they can get Giant Killer and Defier and all these things that push really late game, like Void Campaign or Dominator in the Void Vortex. But outside of those things, unless you're really trying to push and push and push and push, you don't necessarily need to have yourself an A tier. But the value is definitely there. S tiers are insane. The amount of progress you can push with them is unreasonably high, and the fact that they're literally dangling this beautiful carrot for the biggest whale, it's just a shock. And a lot of people in the Android servers really need to worry, because you are competing against the biggest and best on iOS. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are millionaires in this community who could easily spend thousands and thousands and thousands without it affecting them too much. And that's the scary part about this, because the only people who win out of that are DH Games. There is so much more that you could do with that kind of money that throwing it at this game just because DH Games have given you a carrot drives me nuts. It's literally life-changing amounts of money getting thrown this week, and all we can do as mid-spenders, free-to-play, whatever, is just sit back and watch the carnage unfold. Well, that's the Soul Awakening stuff anyway. Let's take a look at the actual fun stuff that we can get involved in. We've got Shelter Mission. So there's Fiona here. Don't be confused. Normally with Shelter Mission, you are getting 4-star copies from the same faction and of the same class of a hero. You need 4 of them to put in here, along with a 5-star. You then press confirm, submit, and you'll get yourself the hero, plus the armor, and 5 dice. In the case of Fiona, though, there are no priests who are 4-star in the Fortress faction, so it is instead mages. In the case of Onkirimaru, there's plenty of warriors you can go with in the Shadow faction. For Forest, we have Assassins, which is going to be Head Striker or Grey-Eyed, and it's the same rewards here as you'd expect. Ignis is going to be Priest, so that's Roger or Norma. Hello, Norma. Look, she's there as well. That's nice. And then for the Light and Dark heroes, we have Aspen and Asmodel. Again, which is a bit annoying, but they are Transcendent, so I can see the reason they've been put in here. But if you were going to give us Transcendence ones, I mean, it's been long enough since Mockman came out, right? Why not give us Mockman and Eos? But nope, we have Aspen and Asmodel, which is just as well, right? Because people are going to need Transcendence heroes to awaken, so yippee, let's go. Yeah, wild, I know. And then there's the Soul Contract as well. If you needed more Contract Story Gems, you can put a 6-star Dark in here and a 6-star Light exchange, and you can do that once. Probably better off doing it with Light than any other faction because, well, Light heroes aren't that great. But Dark, I would be hard-pressed on using a Dark 6-star because Dark is actually quite valuable. There's a lot of really good Dark heroes like Carrie, Drake, Amon-Raj you need a load of if you're going to be pushing in the Realms Gate, and you've got the Demon Bells for that. You can do a little strategy where you get endless bubbles from the Amon-Raj, and they all keep each other alive, which is great against puppets, so there's an argument to keep as much Dark food as you can, but Light, you really don't need that many Light heroes, so you can go ahead and put a 6-star Light in here and not worry, and that's 150 Contract Story Gems. Although for the average free-to-play player, I would just save these until you're at a point where you can go in the Soul Awakening Gala and get yourself an artifact, or heck, if you're feeling gnarly, even go ahead and grab some Spiritual Essence and some Essence Sublimation stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of good things to do. Free-to-play players hoard these. Spenders, obviously, you can go ahead and push up the luck relay and try and get yourselves further in the Soul Awakening Gala. And if you're a whale, well, carrot on a stick, have fun. On top of that, we also have the Idler's Sweet House, which is where you can cash in those blueberry cheesecakes that you managed to get this week. You can get the usual Mysterious Artifact Selection chest, which is nice. This has got Melodic Strings as the higher end artifact, but there's a lot of other good artifacts in here as well that you could grab depending on where you're at with your account. And of course, if you need them, there are Starspawn cores. Free-to-play players should expect to get the Glory Epic Hero Selection chest, and you can get more blueberry cheesecakes from Imp's Adventure by doing the normal strategy of rolling around, trying to level up these huts as fast as possible, and using lucky dice to cut off this corner by going and turboing back to the lucky hut to get your lucky dice back. More on that, you can just find any video where I've done Imp's Adventure. There's literally tons of them, either on the VIP series or other accounts. I'll even be bringing out videos this week on my new series, the Diamond series, so subscribe to catch that. And you can see each tier is going to get you the usual rewards along with 50 blueberry cheesecakes. Now I'm curious, does this skin chest contain the new Vesa skin? It does not yet. And 5-star chests, what do we have here? It's Freya, and does the Light and Dark one contain Mockman? It does. Okay, that's good to see. So there you go. That's the rewards for Imp's Adventure. You can expect as a free-to-play player to get the 5-star chest here, and if you're lucky, you might even get the material selection chest too, and on the very rare occasion, which has actually never happened to me, but I've heard of stories of people who even managed to get a Light and Dark chest. To double your rewards, the Luck Relay will do exactly that, and that also doubles the amount of blueberry cheesecake you get, so just bear that in mind if you are trying to push further. You might be able to increase your odds of getting a Mysterious Artifact Selection chest from here. And all in all, that is the event. So good luck, whales. Maybe there's going to be a few of you that are quite intelligent and realize that this is just ridiculous and you shouldn't be partaking. But of course, for many of you, that's not going to stop you. Android, you are competing against iOS as well, so be mindful. They are much bigger whales than we are. And yeah, just don't be stupid. That's all I'm going to say. The event preview. Let's look at this. Next week's Fantasy Factory Prophet Orbs and Heroic Miracle. There's an Eos in here for Heroic Miracle. Very nice, Transcendence hero. And we have, wow, Homejung and Jara, two really good CC heroes. Homejung is just great. Jara is a great Transcendence. I like to see it. So there you go. That is the event. Let me know what you think about the fact that whales are going to be competing against each other for what is just a wild reward of an SS hero. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be ridiculous. And if the whale that gets that decides to open it on a Bade, you're a freaking legend. I'll see you next time, folks. Happy idling.